Welcome, everybody. We're excited to have you here. This is our first of our speaker series, the No BS social media series. It's a social media series that we're putting together with no jargon, no fluff, practical principles that are going to help you with social media success. We're not here to give you magic bullets. We're here to give you common sense wisdom that is going to give you the tools you need to ensure that you're actually going to make some business progress with your social media, which is why we're all here. Okay, so let's start our presentation off. Away we go. So I want to start with a little quiz for you. I'll just answer to yourselves, true or false. Social media takes too much effort for too little return. Number two, it's just for young people. It's not going to help my business. Number three, if I post too much, I'm afraid I'm going to annoy people. They're going to stop following me. It's going to actually hurt me. Number four, if I'm not actually selling every single time, what am I doing here? I'm wasting my time. And number five, if it's not perfect, it's going to hurt me. Okay. If you answered yes to any one of those things, you are probably suffering from hearing some bad advice. Okay. Those things, while most people may believe some of those things, none of them are actually true. But they are excuses for why people are not going to engage in using their social media platforms. Here are some other excuses that might resonate with you. I don't have time. I don't know what to post. I tried it before. It didn't work. I don't want to waste my time, money, or energy on something if I don't know for sure that it's going to pay off. I'm not tech savvy enough to do this. What I'm here to say is that by the end of this presentation, we are going to share with you a couple of key principles that will help erase these excuses and help you move forward with your business. So social media, it's kind of like a diet. It's the best diet in the world isn't going to work if you can't stick to it and you can't follow it, right? So this today is about sharing practical principles to show you that if you follow them consistently, you're going to get results. We have done this with thousands of brands that we've worked with. We've had businesses that in under 3 months have increased sales by 300%. We have many businesses that are increasing their reach and their impressions by thousands of percentages from where they started off. And they're all based on key principles, which whether or not no matter what platform or tool you end up using, if it's doing it yourself with Canva and writing posts yourself, or if it's using a social media tool like Aggie, these principles still hold. And we're here simply to help small businesses. We've been working with a ton, and what we're learning is that giving businesses the tool to help them is actually sometimes only half the battle. It's also helping with the mindset shift and the mentality to know that you can do this. And what I'm here to tell you, which I hope you'll come around to by the very end, is you're going to all think of yourselves like Dorothy and the ruby red slippers, that you've had them with you all the time. You can do this. And if you find a way that you would need a tool that could actually help make it easier for you, all the better. But we want to make sure that you're walking away with things that you can actually start thinking about to help shift the mindset to make you successful on social. So we're going to start with an analogy, which is mowing your lawn. So probably not a lot of us, for those of us who have lawns, I'm venturing to guess that not a ton of us are mowing our lawn anymore. And I'm going to tie this together with social media in a minute. But the question is why? Why are we not mowing our lawn? Well, it's something that is recurring. It's manual. It takes some time, and it takes time away from things you'd rather be doing. And that may be lounging on the couch. It may be doing other gardening tasks that you might find more gratifying or rewarding, or you think will provide more of an impact. So say something like you'd rather plant flowers than actually mow your lawn. And what I'm here to say is that social media is very much the same way. It is, if you are, it's something that requires a lot of time, a lot of effort and energy, and the manual day-to-day posting can get repetitive. It can become arduous. And the first question, even before why are we talking about social, the first question I'll ask is, if you're not mowing your lawn, why are you doing your own social, right? It's a whole nother job. You're all busy. You're all business owners. You have a first job running your business. So why would you take on a whole entire second job taking on social? But why are we talking about social in the first place? Why does it matter when it comes to business? Well, the first thing I want to share with you is an astonishing fact, and that is the average American today is scrolling through social media for 2.5 hours every single day. That is getting up there to what television used to be. And when you actually extrapolate that out, it's over a full month of a person's time is spent scrolling on social media. So your audience is unquestionably there. And why does it matter to business? Well, it's a place where you can reach people, and no matter the age, they are all on social media, including Instagram. Even about 40% of folks over 50 are on Instagram. I believe it's closer to 50. Another stat here is that 60% of all Americans made a purchase within a month via seeing something on social media. And 22% of Americans have purchased things off of social media, made a purchase decision 10 times or more in the past year. So it is absolutely a key driver to business. It's where people are. So the question is, how do you get them there? How do you reach them? And the challenge as a business owner is there's so much there. How do you ensure that you're going to show them something that's going to actually make them stop in their scroll and actually pay attention to you? Well, the first thing is you have to care for it, right? Let's go back to this analogy of the lawn. If you don't take care of your lawn and it is overgrown and people drive by the house, what are they going to think? They're going to think nobody's home. That person doesn't care about their house. Well, the same thing is absolutely true and immediately recognizable to those who are socially savvy and on social media often. If they come to your feed and they see you haven't posted in a while, it's basically like you're hanging up a sign saying, sorry, we're closed for business. We don't care to take care of our property. We're letting it be overgrown. In this case, undergrown. You're not serving it. You're not putting anything there. And it shows that either you're not open for business or you don't care about your business. And I assume none of you want to send out those signals. So the first thing, if there's any one thing I need every one of you to take away from this presentation, is consistency trumps everything else. Consistency, to keep it in line with the analogy that we were talking about with the lawn. It would never make sense. You would never think, oh, I'm gonna water my lawn for a really long time on Monday, but then I'm not going to pay attention to it for 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm going to expect my lawn to grow and be green and be healthy and have it be a lawn that people are going to walk by and say, wow, what a nice lawn you have. We all know that the way you water a lawn is a little bit every day. Consistent, ongoing care is what works in social media. And that care speaks to 3 different constituencies that are really important to keep in mind. The first consistent constituency or group that you have to worry about are the platforms themselves: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You may or may not know that when you put out a post, they have the ability to choose how many of your followers they're actually going to show that content to. And what they have decided is if you're not going to nurture your audience and consistently give them content, they're not going to waste their time pointing their audience. Now, remember, it's their audience. The platform owns the audience. They decide where they're guiding the attention. You only have some control over that. The way you control it, first and foremost, is by being consistent, because when you're consistent, they see, I could trust you. I could trust sending more audience over to you because I know that you're going to keep them happy and you're going to show them new things all the time. The second constituency is the audience themselves, right? If they found your business, that probably means that they have or still have a need, and they found you. And if you're not going to continue to give them content, it doesn't necessarily mean the need's going to go away. It means they're going to still have the need, and they're going to fill that need with your competitor's content or somebody else's content. So if somebody's going to see your stuff once, do them the favor and give them the opportunity to see you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times on an ongoing basis, and get social with them, which is why it's called social media. Number 3, you want to be kind and considerate to your future self. What this means is that you need to post continuously to have an opportunity to see what works and what doesn't work, so you could learn to do more of what works on a go-forward basis. It's the only way that you could actually learn. So these 3 things are critical, but don't just take my word for it. Here's a really amazing stat from LinkedIn, which you might not necessarily think of in terms of Instagram and Facebook with respect to that constant need for content. But what LinkedIn reported a month or 2 ago is that when you're a business that posts daily, you're growing 8 times faster than if you post weekly. Forget about if you're posting monthly. So it's absolutely critical for you. And if that's not enough for you, let's take a look at how the current state of the union on American small and medium-sized businesses. 71% of small and medium-sized businesses post at least once daily on one or more social media platforms. And I'm sorry, this is 71% are active on social media. 59% are posting daily. Okay, so if you're not in that group, you need to be. Here's some rules of thumb of how often businesses have posted in Q3 of 2024. And you see some pretty staggering numbers: 18 times a week, 12 times a week. So like we talked about before, you need to find a way to make this practical. Like a diet, it's only going to work if you can figure out how to do it in a practical, consistent way. So let's give you some frameworks on how to think about content. We're going to now get into the Dorothy piece. By the end of this, I'm going to tell you about how this relates to the ruby red slippers. Okay. We're going to think about content in terms of the customers who you're trying to reach and what you need to say to those customers. And let's look at customers in terms of a customer journey. The typical customer journey goes from, hey, I'm just getting to know you, to I'm just starting to like you in the consideration phase, to, hey, I think I might want to buy your product or your service, to I'm actually going to give you my money. Okay. And you would not, as a business owner, I am certain, talk to somebody who you're meeting for the very first time, a prospect, a potential customer, a potential client. You are not talking to them in the same way the very first time you meet them versus if you've spoken to them 6, 7, 8 times and they're just getting ready to sign the contract. And so you do this already. You know how to talk to people in different phases of where they are in terms of the relationship that you've built with them. Well, if you think of your social media feed, you're going to have customers who are at every step in this journey along the way. And so what you want to do in terms of a framework for content is think about the things you would want to say for people when you're trying to build awareness, to say, wow, this caught my attention. So when you're trying to build awareness, you want to put out content that lets them get to know you, to spark connections with you. So these are things like your origin story. Here's how and why I started my business. Here's what matters to me, my brand mission, my values, what behind the scenes, getting to know how you do what you do, getting to know your employees, getting to know the business itself and meeting the team. I'm going to show you a more detailed example at the end about what this would look like. If you're talking about now the consideration phase, here's where you want to build up your credibility and your expertise by helping and teaching people. Same way you might in a regular face-to-face relationship. And here you're going to answer questions, you're going to bust myths, you're going to share tips and tricks, and you're going to show them that you're an expert or a thought leader in this area. You have reasons that they want to keep listening to you. If we move to the decision phase, this is where they're just getting ready to decide. Here's a great place where you're going to say, hey, of course I'm going to tell you I'm great, but don't take my word for it. Here's what my clients have to say about it. So reviews and testimonials. Milestones and accomplishments. Hey, we just won this award. It's our 10th anniversary, showing you've been around for a long time. Anything that you could put out that's going to build credibility in terms of other forms of social proof belong in this place. That also includes partnerships and collaborations. Hey, we're working with this other group. You know that group. And if you know them and you respect them, then you'll respect us. This is just a really interesting example. This is a small business named Sherry's Berries, who did a partnership where they partnered with a chiropractor and neurologist who puts out kind of a Bill Nye the Science Guy kind of content every day. And she talked about kind of the scientific principles behind why these strawberries are so delicious. So there are interesting ways to build these partnerships, cross-promote across other people's brands in your area that may give you the opportunity to get exposed to other people. And then when you get into the purchase phase, this is where you're going to actually make your deal, share your offers, share features and benefits, which could be could also be things like your before and after, your results. Work with me. This is what you're going to get. This is what's going to cost. And this is what your life is going to be like after you work with us. Okay, so let's take a look now at the example that I gave you before about the lawn, right? So if you think of putting out your posts, your general social media posts as your daily mowing your lawn, but you still want to actually plant a flower bed to have little pops of something that's interesting, you can think of content in kind of the same way. You could have content that's like day-to-day content, tips and tricks and quotes and your features and benefits and things like that. Our system, Aggie, is excellent at doing all that stuff. What we're proposing here, whether you're using Aggie or something else, is to not take up your energy doing the day-to-day basic stuff, but use a system, some type of structured system that you could stick to where you're not putting a lot of brain power and energy behind those things. You could fill up 4 out of 5 posts with those things, but give yourself a little bit more time and energy to just think a little bit more about how to make something a little bit more special. So here's an example from a law firm. And if you've followed any kind of service-based business, you may have seen what is a very trite type of post, which is showing their employees at a charity walk or a run. Like, hey, here's our people from the accounting group down in Chase who just did the Parkinson's walk. And you see 3 people with their arms around each other. And yes, that's nice. That tells you, oh, people in our business give back and we care for the community. But if you think about what you're really trying to accomplish, this is that flower bed analogy. Like, what am I really trying to accomplish, right? I'm trying to have them get to know me, my mission and my values and my team. So if I have an idea of, hey, I want to show people that my business is charitable, how do I go one step beyond that? It doesn't require bells and whistles, money, hiring a director, shooting video. And this is an incredibly simple idea where they just handed out a piece of paper that says, I walk because, and they had every one of their employees fill out their reasons why they did this walk. Now, this is taking the same concept, but just elevating it slightly to hit your objectives. And so here's another example. This is another lawyer example. Instead of putting out posts of you as a lawyer dressed in your business proper attire and showing how important you are as an attorney, for Halloween, what this attorney did was went the other direction. I'm going to get to know that, let my customers or my clients know me as a person. I'm going to show them a picture of me as a kid when I was trick-or-treating. So how do you basically free up enough time that you're filling your post, that something else is taking care of your posts, your day-to-day posts, so that you could spend a little bit more time doing 1 or 2 extra things a week or every 2 weeks. And those are the 2 things that are going to really help make it pop for you. Okay, so like I mentioned, if you feel that this is the type of thing that you understand the principles, but hey, no matter what, I still don't want to spend the time. I'd just rather have some other entity come up with the ideas and make the stuff. That is what we've built with Aggie. It's a social automation tool that develops all of the ideas that are relevant for your business, understands your brand voice, writes all the posts and captions for you, gives you beautiful imagery that's aligned with your brand, and allows you to very simply either approve, reject, or quickly edit and make any change that you want. They're automatically scheduled once you approve it. You just connect any one of your social media posts, LinkedIn platforms, rather, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and yeah, I think I got them all. YouTube and TikTok to come. And our tool will take care of it for you. Okay, so what I want to share now is just what our bonus offers are for attending today. And after this, we're going to open it up for any Q&A. But just for attending today, we want to offer all of you a discount code for 50% off an annual plan. We want to give you a free personal onboarding session with one of our social media experts. This is a up to an hour-long strategy session where they're not only going to set up Aggie for you, but they're going to help craft the strategy side by side with you, and even if needed, create a full pack of custom images dedicated to your business. We're also going to give annual subscribers a $250 credit for ad boosting. And for those of you who don't know what ad boosting is, you remember I mentioned before about how the platforms will actually restrict who gets to see your content. So even the best businesses in the world who are doing everything great, Instagram's not showing that content to that full follower base. Why? Because they also want you to actually pony up a little bit of cash to expand your reach and reach more people. Now, that's not to say that social media does not give you an unbelievable opportunity that's free to reach a very large percentage of people. But if you want to reach more and reach people outside of your followers, you're going to do something called ad boosting, which is telling Instagram, hey, for X amount of dollars, I'm going to have you reach thousands and thousands of additional people in my area, which you can actually tailor as well. If you subscribe today, we're going to give you $250 of credit for your boosts. And if you subscribe for a monthly plan, $50. So we're pretty much providing you probably about over $1,000 worth of value by using this coupon code that we're going to share with you here today. So the code is webinar50 if you go to our website, which is letaggiedoit.com. Or if you want to put up your camera on this QR code, this should bring you there and actually fill in the coupon code for you. So with that said, I want to move over into the Q&A section. If my team can help share any questions that they might be seeing, come in.
Well, so far we don't have any questions, but we have provided the, we have a question from Jamie. How does Aggie post personal stuff?
So what Aggie does is it gives you the ability to upload any of your own content. So, so number one, it will create a content library for you, but you can also upload any of your own content and then simply put in a topic or a concept of what you want to accomplish, and it will write the caption for you. So it'll bring those two pieces together. So it's kind of a two-step process, but it basically handles all the building. And if you don't like what it gives you the first time, you just keep clicking and clicking and clicking. The entire idea of Aggie is you keep asking it for content till you get something that you like. Great question, Jamie.
We have a new question here that says, which social media does it post on? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. All of the above?
Yep, all of the above. So with the exception, as I mentioned before, of TikTok, which is coming in about a month. But yes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn right now.
Okay, fantastic. There's an additional question. How do you post a reel on IG versus a grid post?
So that's simply a selection process in the preferences. And so, yes, that's simply one click button. So our experts in your onboarding session would be able to help you get that taken care of.
And we can do carousel post.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yep.
Awesome. And then Jamie had an additional question. Are there prompts given for that kind of stuff? I think she was referencing her original question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we have a series of tools. We call them basically like little helper aspects that will that can guide you in terms of things to think about creating.
Okay, awesome. And then Hapreet has a question about, does Aggie help in posting on various Facebook groups?
Facebook groups is not something that we currently support. I would imagine that's probably an easy integration, but certainly you can post to your own platform first and share from there. Another thing you can do is just, as of right now, you can download content out of Aggie and you can post it manually yourself. We haven't heard that request before, but there's always a first. And if we hear a bunch more of that, we can definitely build that in. Thanks.
Okay, and then we have another question. Do you have a package for marketing agencies? I'm a social media account manager. Can I use Aggie to support my clients' needs?
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be our enterprise plan. That allows you to sign up as one entity, but add multiple business accounts underneath it, which you could then share with your clients as well. So be happy to talk to you about the enterprise plan.
Okay, and then we have another question. Can Aggie put my company logo on any post?
Absolutely. That's we automatically do it for probably 1 out of every 3 posts. So the onboarding session when to sign up for Aggie is incredibly simple. You just enter your website. It's going to pull your logo off your website if it's there, or you could upload it yourself. It's going to pull your business description and your business name. It's going to use all that information to auto-generate content. Let's just show you what that looks like here. And it's going to add logos on top of generally about 1 out of every 3 posts, but you can also manually add to any post that you want. You could also overlay your products on top of images. There's a whole series of more advanced features that we could talk about for more advanced users like an agency, but didn't want to bog everybody down in that today. Really wanted to get people key principles, but the short answer is absolutely can handle logos.